आज हमारे साथ एक एक्सपर्ट जुड़े हैं जो प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट ऑफिस एसोसिएट कंसल्टेंट हैं एट कैपजेमिनी और वी कैन से कैपजेमिनी. ही इज बेस्ट सेलिंग ऑथर, ध्रुव रतन अवार्डी, TEDx स्पीकर, रिसर्चर, world record holder in literary creations, and one of the 1,000 super speakers of India by Success Gyan. And you are Mr. Azeem Uddin. Welcome, sir, to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Glad to be here.
Okay. Also, we have audience with us. I welcome all the audience too in the episode 5 of the Brainery. आप अपने सवाल हमें ड्रॉप कर सकते हैं चैट बॉक्स में, अपनी कोई भी क्वेरी हो. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं इंश्योरेंस के रिन्यूअल से. अजीम, तो मेरा सबसे पहला सवाल आपसे होगा कि क्या हम इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी की बात कर रहे हैं, तो क्या इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी खरीदना जरूरी है, और अगर हाँ तो इसे कैसे रिन्यू करवा सकते हैं, क्योंकि बहुत से लोग कंफ्यूज रहते हैं कि कैसे इसे रिन्यू करवाया जाए.
Yes, Shalini, thank you so much for the warm introduction also. So सबसे पहले जैसे कि अगर हम इंश्योरेंस की बात करें, so अगर कोई भी कुछ भी कोई भी थेफ्ट है या कोई भी ऐसा एक्सीडेंट है, so it just provides us that financial stability, है ना. बट जब ये रिन्यूअल की बात आती है, so I think it is a continuation of coverage. Yes, now that time is just out, it is off, और अब हम उसे रिन्यू कैसे कराएं. सो इसके लिए प्रॉपर रिसर्च और प्रॉपर एक इवन मोटर व्हीकल्स एक्ट्स के द्वारा इट इज इवन नाउ मैंडेटरी आल्सो. एंड insurance provider they just suggested that we have to do proper research in this regard also, or policy renewal now it has become mandatory. And in another go, if we want to continue with the same company, insurance provider company or not, that is also the best decision that we need to take at the very outset. सो आई थिंक इसके लिए हमें वो फिकल माइंडेड नहीं होना चाहिए, हमें अपनी पूरी रिसर्च करनी चाहिए. एंड देन उसके बाद इवन अगर हम कंटिन्यू करना चाहते हैं विद द सेम कंपनी ऑल्सो, देन देर आर फ्यू प्रोसीजर्स. We can do it offline, online, then there are certain protocols that we need to follow. Even there are few apps also, mobile phone apps and or offline insurance providers we can approach. So I think इसके लिए एक kind of awareness जरूरी है.
ओके. ओके, थैंक यू. तो जैसे आपने बोला कि हम इसे ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन दोनों करवा सकते हैं, तो कौन सा ऑप्शन दोनों में से बेटर है, ऑनलाइन या ऑफलाइन, और क्यों?
I think because now we are having this, social media and this technical savvy world is here. So I would suggest online would be more convenient, it would be more visible, scalable. Within the confinement of our homes, हम उसे बहुत आसानी से कर सकते हैं. और even इसका एक और merit है कि उसमें there are n number of other features also that we can browse on. It's just like a proper dashboard. वो open होगा पूरा as a dashboard with n number of options, हम उनसे deal कर सकते हैं. Even there are online chats also, you know, that if we have any kind of query, then we can suggest, we can take that kind of suggestive action, या कोई भी हम उस पर डाल सकते हैं. So on the side delivery होगी उसकी. So
हम्म.
online would be most better option. But if some are people are more conventional, so I would say that you just take it with regard to your own comfort level, your own convenience. So अगर आपके पास online offline भी एक बहुत better insurance provider है, you have better communication also with them, then you can approach those also on offline basis.
Okay, okay, thank you. I also have seen that 24/7 the help is available, so the customer care service will
Yes.
get nice. It is online. Great. So now I would like to ask you, what are the main points when it comes to process of renewal? तो policy renew जो हम कराते हैं, तो क्या main process इसमें रहते हैं?
Yes. So main grounds उसके यही है कि पहले तो as I said it is just a continuation of coverage. If we need to continue that with the same company, that decision we need to take. If not, then again we need to withdraw it. But there are n number of factors. Like firstly, we have to be reviewing the current policy. What is going on? It is a timeline check. Now the date is getting ended, so now we need to renew it. So current review policy has to be there. Then calculation of IDV, that is insured declared value, that is very important. And उसके लिए भी हमें क्या क्या factors important है, that is again very important to think. Then what kind of add-ons we can consider, coverage factors, quotas, add-ons, and then it's just like payment has to be done, and then we need to review that policy. We need to submit all those valid documents for that approval. So this is just a proper strategic framework, I would say. चाहे हम
Hmm.
offline जाएं, चाहे हम online जाएं, but these are the frameworks that we need to follow. Set of guidelines.
Okay, okay. फाइन। तो आपने एक बीच में वर्ड बोला है विच इज आईडीवी, इंश्योर्ड डिक्लेयर्ड
Yes.
वैल्यू। तो जब पॉलिसी रिन्यू करवाते हैं तो हमें एक अमाउंट फिल करना होता है। तो एक्चुअली क्या है ये आईडीवी और क्या इसका रेलेवेंस है जब हम पॉलिसी रिन्यू करवाते हैं?
So IDV is the maximum value of the vehicle that insurer. So it is just like क्या कितनी उसकी अपर लिमिट एक हो सकती है, that is the maximum value, insured declared value कि even if अगर हम उसे हाई भी रखेंगे, then we have to be paying more premium. But if
हम्म।
it would be low, then again it's a problem. हम वो अगर कोई भी ऐसे अनसर्टेनिटी हो गई या
हम्म।
एक्सीडेंट हो गया, then again वो फिर प्रॉब्लम होगी क्योंकि वो हमें कम अमाउंट मिल रहा है. सो कैलकुलेशन
हम्म।
ऑफ आईडीवी आई थिंक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, उसके भी अलग फैक्टर्स हैं जिस पे डिपेंड करती है. बट इट इज, आई थिंक यही एक प्राइम बहुत डिसीजन है जो हमें इवन देर आर एन नंबर ऑफ टूल्स ऑल्सो, कैलकुलेटर्स ऑल्सो जिसकी सपोर्ट से हम ये कर सकते हैं. बट
ओके।
इसके लिए लाइक दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट डिसीजन दैट वी नीड टू टेक.
हम्म। ओके, तो आईडीवी इट मींस लाइक जो करंट मार्केट वैल्यू मेरी व्हीकल की है वो आईडीवी मैं कह सकती हूँ, मैक्सिमम वैल्यू, राइट?
यस, यस,
ओके
मैक्सिमम.
ओके। तो लाइक इसको कैसे कैलकुलेट किया जा सकता है? इसके कौन से फैक्टर्स हैं जो आईडीवी को डिसाइड करता है?
So they are like make of the vehicle, model, and then its depreciation value, manufacturer's selling price has to be taken into account. All of these factors, model name, model number, all of these things, like detailing of that particular vehicle also, and then selling price, then all these things. Their age,
हम्म।
age also. Age is very important. Age of the vehicle. Yes.
ओके।
So even that is depreciation value again. So all of these factors are extremely important. क्योंकि अगर हम कुछ ऐसे ऑनलाइन टूल से भी सपोर्ट लेंगे एक आईडीवी कैलकुलेट करने का, देन अगेन वो बहुत रिफाइंड प्रोसीजर है ऑनलाइन.
ओके।
बिकॉज ऑनलाइन कैलकुलेटर्स, ऑनलाइन टूल्स, बट ऑफलाइन भी अगर हम इसे करेंगे देन वी हैव टू बी सीक द राइट पर्सन इन दैट रिगार्ड.
Exactly, exactly. So I think it will be easy to approach the online calculators available. Like
Yes.
that would be more sufficient. Fine, thank you. One more question comes here. What are the common mistakes which people make when they choose IDV while renewing their insurance policy, and how they can avoid these mistakes?
Yes. So it's just like it is a very important decision, as I said, but then as you said, also narrated, it is a maximum value for our own vehicle. So in terms of uncertainty, in terms of anything that is happening, out of the bloom, then these are the things like if we have made up our mind of policy renewal, motor insurance renewal, then this is the first thing that comes to our rescue, IDV, maximum value. So इसके लिए even it's just like अगर हम इसे higher भी लेंगे, then again we have to be paying the more premium. So again
Hmm.
it's a bonuses would not be there, no claim bonus would not be there that much. Well, then अगर हम इसे low रखते हैं, then again हमारी डिविनिंग वैल्यू हमें मिलेगी, कम. So it has to be just like very balanced.
Okay.
And one thing that could support us in this regard is all these online tools only.
Hmm.
Like basic general awareness about this, how it should be calculated. We have to be seeking support from all these educationalists in this particular area, only in this domain. They can guide us. Like people who are already involved in this, they can
Hmm.
well guide us that how balanced it could be. Otherwise, it's a problem. If it is more maximum, if it is more minimum, then again it's a problem. So it's just like a proper balanced value we need to take into account.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Because I think the claim amount which we will get will be based on the damage which has happened, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So, okay, thank you. So here, like when we talk about IDV, insured declared value, one more word I have seen, that is depreciation, right? So what that is, and how, what role of the vehicle's depreciation play, the depreciation rate play when we renew the policy?
yes. So depreciation rate again, it's a very important technical term in this area. So it is determined by the age of our vehicle, right? How many years? Even if it is just 1 year, it would be 5%. Then for second year again, it would be 5%. Then three to
Okay.
fourth year, it would be 5 to 10% gradually. And both these IDV and depreciation rate, they are inversely proportional. If IDV would be high, our depreciation rate would be going down. If depreciation rate is down, then IDV goes high because it's just like the age. And then IDV is our amount, right? So
Okay.
they are inversely proportional. They are not directly proportional. So it just determines our age of the vehicle has to be taken into account to just judge this, to calculate this depreciation value. So it would
Okay.
be going down, 5 to 10%, then 15 to 20% with more number of years. But on a minimal starting level, up to second year, it would be same, 5%.
Okay. Fine. So here, related to depreciation only. So how it is calculated basically? You were talking about that for 1 year it will be 5% and so on. So how is it calculated?
So it is on the age of the vehicle. Like we have to be taking into consideration all those add-ons and the basic details of the vehicle. Age, make, model, all these things, and even the current condition of the vehicle also, like how that any type of mishappening happened, how it happened, then to what extent it has degraded the vehicle. All these offline things they take into picture.
Okay. So I think we can we find this chart somewhere like you shared for one particular age, this will be the depreciation amount, like this deduction will be there, or for 2 years, this will be the percentage of the depreciation calculated. So where can we get this chart actually?
So there are many, even on these tools also, there are the self-help guide or FAQs provided
Hmm.
on these apps, insurance company providers. So when we would be researching about them, then we can find all these details and FAQs, or even we have to be researching on qualitative basis. Like on social media also, if we would be searching on this, then we can get all these charts and with time, with number of years, how they need to be calculated, all these details. So it's just like first we need to make up our mind for this renewal, because sometimes
Okay.
people are so they are not able to take right decision at the right time. So यही
Hmm.
होता है in terms of this money mindedness, हम उसे थोड़ा सा बढ़ावा देना चाहते हैं, but then कभी कभी हमें even ये कंपनीज इतने अकाउंट में नहीं मिलती, आउट
Hmm.
ऑफ आवर बिजी लाइफ, ये के लिए टाइम नहीं होता. सो इसीलिए मैं ये अवेयरनेस भी क्रिएट करना चाहूंगा कि इट इज फॉर अवर फाइनेंशियल स्टेबिलिटी, है ना, ऑल
Okay.
दीज थिंग्स. So these are
Hmm.
extremely important.
Okay, okay. Thank you for sharing. So now my next question comes from you is that why it's important to consider the claim history when of the previous year claim history when we choose the IDV while renewing the insurance policy.
Yes. So it's just like if there would be no claims, then we can judge that how it happened, what must be happened. So that's why no claim history is something that would be giving us some type of information about that vehicle also, about the entire number of transactions that has been happened. So no claim history, even there's a no claim bonus also. That is just like a reward. अगर हमने क्लेम नहीं किया उस विद इन स्टिपुलेटेड टाइम, then it is just like a bonus or reward. So no claim history generally, people see to just judge that vehicle also, और जो भी ट्रांजेक्शन्स बीच में हुए हैं वो कैसे हैं, वो वैलिड है या नहीं, तो इसके जजमेंट पे.
Okay, so it's like if I check the claim history, if I have made, then it means that I have already made a claim and I won't be getting any bonus, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Fine. So related to this only, like as NCB, I think we call it in short. So does NCB status affect the IDV selection?
Yes, it occurs because it is a good thing. If अगर कोई भी claims पहले वाले उस name stipulated उसमें नहीं है, then
Hmm.
it's just like a proper reward, some type of stipend we get as a bonus.
Hmm.
That is
Hmm.
termed as this no claim bonus. So it's just like a bonus, it's just like a proper reward in monetary funds that they
Hmm.
provide. Or they would be also in terms, they can provide us some type of discounts also, in terms
Okay.
of reimbursement and all. So that's why, again, it's a great term.
Okay. Thank you. Now I'll move to the add-on part. So when we come to a renewal of the policy, so what are the tips and tricks for customizing the add-on covers when we choose the IDV?
Yes. So there are a number of quotas that we need to see, or coverages are there. Then some type of qualitative analysis we need to also do. Like if these are the add-ons we need to consider now, they could be based on alloys, they could be based on any, very important and expensive thing that is in our vehicle, in our car. So based on that, add-ons, coverages, then it is about, documentation also. and any type of thing that we could do, just like an add-on. Just with this
Hmm.
add-on, we would be asking, the company to pay us to some extent, if it is possible.
Okay. So like so if I say that I have a two-wheeler or I have a two-wheeler, then how what add-ons would you suggest me that I should be buying while renewing the policy?
So if it is just a two-wheeler, there may be, alloys also. Uh, Even my brother has bullet. So he was very particular about those alloys. He was trying to, because this is an expensive thing. So sometimes
Yeah.
people want to, get this kind of add-on as a best practice in this insurance process also. So
Hmm.
anything, all these things like for two-wheelers also, any music system, any expensive thing, any even carpet work also in four-wheelers. So those would be acting as a proper add-ons.
Hmm. Okay, thank you. So, like, as you're talking about some specific models, like you shared bullet, so how the model of a vehicle contribute to the IDV calculations? Does it also affect the IDV?
Yes, it do affects. So it is taken just in terms, like it could be a more recent model, then
Hmm.
there would be another set of protocols. And if it is like बहुत पुराना hai, then they have different type of rules. So they are
Hmm.
just like proper set points that they have predefined. Like for this model or for this model in the recent years or in the very past years, what type of decisions they need to take. Because even this
Hmm.
industry is so vast nowadays, they have just set out all those different protocols and rules.
Hmm.
So based on this, like how recent that model is and how old it is, even it is covering age also.
Hmm. Okay. Now my next question comes is that we talk about IDV. So there's one more word. I think that is an add-on, which is return to invoice cover or return to invoice add-on, and that is sometimes that is mixed with IDV. So
Yes.
are these different? And if these are different, that how these two are different? Return to invoice cover and IDV.
So it is the value of the reimbursement, this return to invoice. And
Hmm.
IDV is of a maximum value. So I think
Hmm.
that is return to invoice RTI. It is a subset of this IDV. It's a small portion of this. It's a small contribution that they are doing. So it's
Hmm.
a small amount of money, even we can say. But this IDV is the maximum value. That's why people get confused because these are on monetary grounds. Both.
Hmm.
But this is IDV is the maximum value of our vehicle that we can, portray and insurance company can provide. But then this is the type of reimbursement that any
Hmm.
kind of any change happened, that change they need to monitor, the change they need to control. And even as people, our requirements also change with time,
Hmm.
right? So what
Okay.
kind of fluctuations, what kind of changes we could do for this policy, in this policy also, like changes can't happen when
Hmm.
it is just started, but what kind of changes we could do in the starting time or in the ending time, that is totally related to RTI in
Okay.
monetary ways. But then
Hmm.
this is the maximum value, what maximum value they are giving,
Okay.
IDV.
Okay. Yeah. I'll add one more point when we like to audience. So when we talk about this return to invoice cover, it can be availed in two situations. If the vehicle is theft or if it is completely damaged that it cannot be even repaired. So in these
Yes.
two conditions we can avail this. Great. Also we have a question from Shubham. That is, why does the IDV vary between insurance companies?
Because sometimes, like, there are some conventional processes that people are following, that this industry is following. But then, with situations, with people's demands, with requirements, sometimes these different companies they come out with different options. You know,
Hmm.
so based on their requirements, their needs, and their own standpoint also to see.
Hmm.
Like for any startup, or that's why because we have established organizations in this area also, we have startups also, but then if we see from that standardized perspective, then just they are doing it because they want to do it. They want to provide customer experience in a more proficient manner. That's why.
Hmm.
So it's just all about customer handling and customer satisfaction is must here. Because
Hmm.
this is the issue that we are dealing in these today's times. Any uncertainty, theft, accidents, anything that is happening, but that's why it
Hmm.
is mandatory. So
Okay.
with all these organizations and company perspective, like they want this kind of customer satisfaction, customer feedback also. That's why they're changing their own IDV. So that what
Hmm.
kind of experiments they can do, when IDV is getting varied, because this is, I would say, this is the backbone. IDV is the
Hmm.
backbone of this, all about insurance and all, and the
Hmm.
factors also that are involved in policy renewal. So I would say
Hmm.
they are doing this for pilot implementation, for experimentation, and sometimes it is coming out as a good option also for some
Hmm.
customers.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Shubham, for asking the question. My next question comes that is if someone has no information about IDV at all, and the person does not trust any agent to get help, then how person can purchase the insurance plan?
Yes, so for this, like they need to do the proper prerequisite research about
Hmm.
all the details. They will not to be making early decision. Sometimes it happens people are so fearful about taking this decision because it's all about money. But as it is written here, insurance wise, be wise. So we have to
Hmm.
be wise. We have to be very detail oriented in this regard. So firstly, on individualistic basis, कि आपको वो पहले research करनी है अपने तौर
Hmm.
पर. Then you have to be seeking out for all those offline and online options. So I think
Hmm.
research and this rigorous study of this particular area and communication with all these leaders in this
Hmm.
domain, जो भी आपके acquaintance में हैं, उनसे आप guide लीजिए, उनसे decision लीजिए. So I think that could immensely help us because of
Hmm.
otherwise हम वो right decision नहीं ले पाएंगे इसके बारे
Exactly right. Also, I think nowadays अगर हम वेबसाइट्स पे देखें तो ऑलरेडी टूल्स अवेलेबल हैं, हमें बहुत
में.
ज्यादा एफर्ट्स लगाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. सो देर आर ऑलरेडी अ फ्यू थिंग्स व्हिच automatically guide us, right? Thank you. Now I would ask you that is it possible to change the IDV midway through the policy term? And if yes, what are the implications of doing so?
Yes, again, it would be like we can't change the IDV in the middle of the process because it has again few drawbacks and drop points. With time to time basis, we can't change it. But there are certain situations like when any kind of intensified incident happened, then some type of alternative options they would provide us. Like we can't
Hmm.
change it entirely, but there would be some fluctuations, there would be some mini points that they would discuss with you. They would be having a proper meeting with you, those insurance companies, and then they would look out for better options if anything
Hmm.
uncertain has happened in that.
Hmm.
And that is so intensified also. Then only, otherwise, we can't change this in the middle of the field. Only like when it's about renewal, then we can see for some type of just like add-ons. We can just manipulate something like we don't want them to be attached. Then those things. So only on minor perspective we can change it. But
Hmm.
IDV or all these even money-related things that we can't change.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Azeem. So I would ask now that can a policy holder opt for a higher IDV for a specific part of any vehicle, any particular vehicle, like expensive accessories or any high-tech components and so?
Yes, that they can do, and even people love to do so when they get this, different option for
Hmm.
just like as we talked about that music system or any kind of alloy, any type of expensive bodywork that is
Hmm.
in the vehicle, or expensive alloys. For all of these things, yes, we can, have this kind of coverage
Hmm.
because it's just a continuation of coverage. So as it is
Hmm.
about renewal, so renewal here, so even they would be also listening us. They would be listening for our good decisions, for what exaggeration we all want. So
Hmm.
that in terms of comes out as add-on. What type
Add
of
on
add-on
exactly.
features or enhancers we could use to
Hmm.
just more flourish as a company perspective also, as a customer perspective also. So yes, for all
Hmm.
these expensive items, anything like it could be anything inside our vehicle, outside, within the body, anything that is expensive, they would be checking it, they would be doing it. If it would be valid, then they would be considering it.
Hmm. Okay, thank you, Azim. I think that's what I had to ask from my end. And so, when it comes to IDV, I would say to my audience too that yes, IDV is a very important component when it comes to renewing a policy. and one should choose IDV very wisely. Though there are many options available, अगर आप online websites पे देखो, even एसेंसी इंश्योरेंस, देर ऑल्सो IDV के बहुत सारे ऑटोमेटिकली आप देखोगे, अगर आप अपना व्हीकल की डिटेल्स डालते हो, आपको ऑटोमेटिकली दिख जाएगा कि आपके लिए क्या एक वाइज IDV सेट करना क्या हो सकता है. So thank you, Azeem. From your, I would say that audience, if you have any query, you can drop in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and speak up. Sure. So I think we don't have query. Azim, I would like you to conclude the discussion. We talked about renewal process and the IDV inclusion there.
Yes, thank you so much. So it was a great talk, I think. And on this particular domain area, all of these, self-help guidance we have, all the number of options we have on online basis. But the thing is that we are so reluctant.
Hmm.
Sometimes people are not able to take that right decision, or even they don't want to even create some type of efforts in this area also. But
Hmm.
as it is mandatory, all the time it has been mandatory, and it is for our own good, for
Hmm.
our, because life is so uncertain in these today's times.
Exactly.
We never know what could happen. So, on terms of all these loss of property, loss of damage, what this is just a minor thing that we could do on our part.
Hmm.
And if it is just started, then again it's about, again it would be ended, it would be for some time. Then now here comes the importance of this renewal, right? So जब
Hmm.
renewal की भी बात आती है, then again don't, second that. Don't think like now I need not to be continuing with that. Then again, after ये right decision होना कि you need to continue with the same company or with other organization, that is again very important. Then
Hmm.
second thing is to have a proper knowledge in this regard. So
Hmm.
for that you again need to do a thorough study of this. You need to consult with proper guides, the proper supervisors, mentors, the people who are so core into this particular area, they can
Hmm.
guide us. Some people are there, of course, who can misguide us, who can mislead us, but then again, we would be touching on all these multiple grounds.
Exactly.
Offline also, online also, our own self-study also. So as you
Hmm.
also said, that online options, again, they are so convenient, they are so, convenient. Just from our confinement, we can do. We can browse through all those histories, through all those
Hmm.
n number of options, and there are more options than online basis in that. Just like a
Hmm.
proper 24/7 support, then our queries would be handled, and other different options also that would be on knowledge perspective. So I would
Hmm.
just encourage, educate, and inspire people here through the medium of this particular platform that
Hmm.
be more educated in this regard, and this take this action, policy
Hmm.
renewal, and consider all these touch points, IDV, depreciation rate, add-ons, coverages, because it is just a continued process. So don't
Hmm.
hide your feelings, don't just beat around the bush. And आप भी अपने लिए भी एक decision ले रहे हो, for the society also, for your parents, for your, loving ones, for your own self. So it has to be the
Hmm.
decision that has to be very important for you.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
for you team also, I think you people are doing great work. So keep up the good work, because this
Hmm.
is again just like, it's just like a support to people, and
Hmm.
just following out with your own passions, coming out with different strategies. Even with this initiative also, online talk show of Brainery, it's
Hmm.
a great initiative to educate people, because even with the advent of COVID, this has started. So thank you so
Exactly.
much.
Thank you.
Congratulations for your work also. You have been an
Thank
amazing host,
you.
Shani. Thank you.
Thank you, Z. And I too thank you because you gave your valuable time, and it has been a great talk today. I think it's so much helpful for us and for our audience. And I would end at the end of this show, I'll say to my audience too that research work is very important. Whether you have a lot of things to help you out online, offline, but yes, your own research will be an add-on, I would say. Thank you, Zine. Thank you for this for the time.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay,
Goodbye,
great.
all.
Thank you,
Thank you for
audience.
joining.
Goodbye. Thank you.